that winner side spot against Kazuya, knowing what lies ahead, but there's one player in front of them to get to that spot against Wilds.
So again, Farrah going to be coming from Michigan and Dany coming from Tennessee here, both representing their states respectfully. So yeah, we'll see. I don't even know if these two have played against each other. Probably.
They potentially
maybe
could have, but I mean, this is a matchup that you don't get a lot of experience with.
Right.
If you're in Dany's seat, I mean, Farrah, you probably see a lot of wolves. You fight a lot of wolves. There's a lot of wolf bugs. Meanwhile, for Dany, looking at Banjo Kazooie, there's not a lot of info out there for this character. So we're going to be seeing Farrah starting off with a very passive gameplay here, using blue eggs and grenade eggs to put on some pressure with Dany and just moving all over the place.
Yeah, not really needing to approach right now. Doesn't feel the need to here, but those grenades. Fortunately, Dany is going to catch one of those, and maybe some more here. Again, Farrah just putting a lot of pressure right now, and Ledge trapping to the very end, looking to stick it out with that first stock.
Yeah, these grenade eggs are Banjo's main gimmick that he's going to be using. There's the Wonder Ring getting him back to stage, but we're seeing Farrah just throw a grenade egg every single second here and trying to get some setup combos. I mean, we saw the F smash come out at Ledge, potentially will be seen later alongside some blue eggs. Seeing right here, Dany trying to find his footing, only 50% behind, and trying to find these openings, starting with landing fairs and nairs, just those really bread and butter starters that you know from Wolf players.
Yeah, Dany's able to find some percentage here, but again, it's a lot of pressure being able to amount to it when Farrah has this barrier of explosives and the eggs and projectiles. A lot of it is kind of keeping Dany away, so being able to really not get in an easy way, he's fighting for his life.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, how do you kill with Banjo? You only have one Wonder Ring left as you get forward or back aired, and now you have the refresh, but you lost out on the one Wonder Ring from before. You only get 15 of them each game potentially, so Farrah's got to make the most of them.
Yeah, for sure. We did see a couple of them burnt a little soon, I guess you could say, for recovery options, but sometimes that's just kind of how the way it is, and Farrah is just letting them rip as well. I mean, he's all in.
You have to scare your opponent with the knowledge that there is a Wonder Ring out. There's the blue egg combo into the up tilt, getting a kill for Farrah on the board in this set. Now we're seeing once again these grenade eggs and blue eggs just putting pressure on Dany, but he's not too phased, having that reflector to just send them back or just get rid of them if he needs them.
Yeah, Farrah realizing that, you know, it might have to be a little more of a close combat situation if Dany is not going to give him that space and disregard it, because again, like, those projectiles mean nothing to Dany's really getting in Farrah's face here.
Definitely, we might see a little bit of an aggressive Wonder Ring out of the corner if Farrah is forced to. He has 4 of them left, and meanwhile, Dany sitting pretty at 16%, trying to find a quick kill with a bear. Not quite getting it. Does hold on to the double jump and opts to recover high. Very smart of him to not get anywhere close to Farrah losing a stock early.
Yeah, landing that up tilt there, looking to close it out with an up air. Got a laser going. Really just keeping his distance here, and the spacing has been so crucial here for Dany, because again, one wrong move could interfere with like his aerials and dash attacks and whatnot. But again, going to be landing one there, not able to connect in the Wonder Wing as well, almost landing.
Yeah, very high. I'm surprised that dash attack that sent straight up didn't kill, but it will be just the raw boot sending Farrah into the blast zone here. Dany sitting at 91. We'll try and get some extra credit here before they lose their stock here. Okay, combo the forward air with the Wonder Wing. We're out of resources. Just a little bit. Farrah, unfortunately, having to use 2 Wonder Wings by accident, and you do not want to lose your resources like that, especially this late into the game.
Yeah. However, Dany not looking too hot either. I mean, going to be losing that second stock now to Farrah, Ledge trapping him from that stage there and being able to still hold his ground here with 40%, still manageable and still doable.
Yeah, if you're able to get rid of that double jump on your wolf opponent, then you can force them to just kind of, you know, die to the lower blast zone, and we saw that with the down tilt poke from Farrah, and just we're going to be seeing more of that later on. Dany has to be aware that he can't just waste his resources willy-nilly, and as a wolf player, I'm pretty sure you already know that. See right here, Fair looking for an opening here, has a few Wonder Wings left on deck, and he's waiting for the right moment to strike. Meanwhile, Dany is just looking to close this out with some big damage here, getting a flash, and that will be barely it, missing a tech. And that will be Dany taking that first game.
Yeah, that side B sending upwards was a little insane, but yeah, optimizing for that instead of, you know, going for a smash attack or something else that would have taken more time into consideration to, like, simmer and all of that. Going to be optimizing for the side B was good choice.
Yeah, that Wolf Flash can be the jump scare that you need to get a kill, especially with how fast you have to react for that, for that spike tech. There wasn't even a kill scene. There wasn't red sparks either. So it really just was a jump scare. So great showing from Dany there in that first game. But we're going to be seeing PS2 once again. Fair looking to get a number on the board here to stay in winner's side.
Yeah, Fair was not too far behind, honestly, in percentage or whatnot. It's just that Dany has now figured a way out of this wall and the barrier, as I mentioned, with the grenades and eggs. So it's not really going to be affecting him as much anymore that Fair would like them to, but, you know, we got to change it up a little bit and see what else that he could do here.
Fair really needs to look to make sure that the Wonder Wings do connect and doesn't waste them on the resources for recovery. I mean, sometimes you have to, but that stock 3 that happened, just 2 of them were wasted already, and on your last stock, you can't have that happening in this set when everything is on the line.
Oh, yeah, falling a little too short there, too far down. But Dany even ready for the follow-up there with those down tilts here. But going to be resetting a little bit back to neutral here. Dany taking his time, being patient, not going to approach too much. However, Fair has other plans as he tries to get a hit in here. No Wonder Wing approach. Yeah,
those Wonder Wings on stock 1 being left on the table, I'm pretty sure there was 4 of them. That's not what you want to see as a Banjo-Kazooie player. That Wonder Wing also, the late hit, not killing at about 130. Fair just looking to poke out with that down tilt once again, and yeah, that will be getting the kill for Fair, not having to use too many resources and fall behind versus Dany, as he's now in his second stock.
Yeah, and I like that we're seeing Fair being a little more frugal with the Wonder Wings as well, optimizing for staying on stage as well, because, you know, that recovery ain't so good, and, you know, you don't want to burn resources, as you said, for the Wonder Wing, so those down tilts the...
Yeah, good awareness with Fair holding out there from that combo, because if he had held in, that would have been Fair back air.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like you were saying, it's just like the awareness of managing your resources and just making sure they hit every single time. See right here, just a lot of just patience and waiting as Fair just throws out Grenade Egg after Grenade Egg. Meanwhile, Dany is just looking for one of these hits to find a kill here.
Yeah, Fair is going to definitely make him work for it, but Dany being able to find a grab, dash attack as well. Not going to take the stock. We see Fair still thriving at 163%, already at that max rage point. So going to try to make a count here, try to get as much percent as possible before the stock is potentially taken.
Ooh, I like the reaction from Fair, throwing the grenade down instead of at Dany, because if that had been reflected, that absolutely would have killed Fair. Getting caught in the end leg of the Wonder Wing, Dany will be finding a bear kill. Ooh, oh, not comboing into that forward air. Dany is sitting a little bit risky getting comboed into that forward air from the Grenade Egg, and we're sitting at 1 stock apiece, dead even, and Fair might be able to close this game out in his favor. Alrighty, we'll see what the play is here. Both of them in the corner, just kind of sprawling back and forth, seeing what's going to happen to them. Ooh, big hits.
Yeah, right now, currently, Dany just has Fair in the corner once again. Being able to use his tools here, the eggs and the grenades, to try to approach, sneak in. I do like the approach there, being able to use the projectiles instead and forwardly, like, approaching Dany. So
it's just pressure that Dany has to respect by, like, you know, he has to back up or he has to be in the reflector, and depending on what Fair does, he can react accordingly and get a grab and force further. And just, there's so many projectiles happening at once that, like, something's gonna hit.
Yeah, this whole set has been explosive right now.
Just looking like a snake matchup to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Banjo is essentially a snake in some way. Oh,
another animal. big hit. Once again, the Wonder Wing not connecting, but this is getting a very tense last stock, last hit situation in game 2.
Oh, the dash attack? Not just yet. 150 on Fair, though. Dany looking to close this out, sticking to that platform for safety, for distance here.
One Wonder Ring and a Dream. Dany looking to really close this out, get a 2-0 lead, wants those counter picks. And Fair is just playing that passive, knowing that if he gets a blue egg or a grenade, he can set up into a combo. Who's going to take it?
Nothing really seems to be landing right now for either or player to really take that final stock, but the back air will do it. Just enough pressure, the steel-toed boots from Dany.
You saw there, it was almost Fair's game to win with that last Wonder Ring not coming out fast enough, and you paid $5.99 for the character in soccer. I didn't give you enough starting frames for that to happen, but Dany is going to be moving up 2-0, now having the counter pick for the rest of the set potentially if it moves to game 5, and I think that the players are starting to figure each other out a little bit more. That was a very close second game.
Yeah, most definitely. We're seeing a lot more from Fair in the adjustments that he's making that he feels he needs to make as well. So it's good to see that adaptation in between games here in the exchange. So we'll see if it's going to finally matter in this game 3, potentially Fair's last game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Or
it's not as
winners.
the last day for winners. There's still more on the line, and whoever has to fight Banjo in losers, I worry for them just because of the matchup experience and knowledge.
Yeah.
However, it's not said and done yet. We could see Fair make the run of an upset and a 3-0. It just all depends on what happens here in this game 3. Big back air not connecting. These back airs has just been huge for Dany, picking up these kills left and right throughout this set. They've been the MVP for sure.
Yeah, Fair gonna already be burning a Wonder Wing, and Dany landing with the side B going unpunished as well, uncontested. Someone finally lands a grab here though with the forward throw. And we'll see as we get closer. These percentages gonna get scooped in the up smash. Unfortunate.
Yeah, the really tricky thing about using Wonder Ring from that far away is that your opponent's in the perfect spot to just shield and immediately pressure and punish due to all of the end lag on it. But a big forward air, or forward smash, excuse me, is going to be taking out that stock for Dany. And we're going to be 2 stocks apiece right now with the 30% deficit.
And he's still hanging on, though, to the second stock with little to no percentage taken here. Fair, on the other hand, with 62%. Got to make something happen. Got to approach here. We see the grenade tosses and whatnot. But Dany, again, once he finds that opening, he does the most that he can to make it count.
Yeah, he's not really too phased by the entourage of eggs going on. And, he's just continuing pushing forward, now finding another bear kill. Once again, the MVP of the set, Fair on his winner side stock potentially if he's not able to find this. And with the deficit of a full left percent stock, I don't know, it's not looking too great.
Yeah, this is some tribulation here for Fair that he is facing currently, just unable to really find the answer to the second Dany stock here. And again, struggling in this corner right now, really put to the test how he can recover here, what other tools you have up your sleeve, and how do you get out of the situation now.
Yeah, the corner's been such a deficit for Fair right now, taking 90%, and it's just you have a whole nother stock to get through and a limited amount of resources with these Wonder Wings. What is your answer here as Dany continues to put his foot on the gas, even though he's getting hit by that forward air?
Oh, yeah, that F smash was a little too greedy there from Fair, though. However, we're still seeing him alive, but Dany responds with the back throw here. We'll see how else this plays out on how he approaches this last Fair stock, sitting at 132%.
Yeah, Fair using the grenade to get a safe recovery back on the ledge, trying to get a little bit aggressive here and jumping into the up smash, and that is going to be it. Dany closing it out with a 3-0.
Yeah, got a little too close for comfort there, and once again, people just trying to land on your opponent, and that's what you get. Sometimes you just get scooped up in the up smash.
I mean, that happens, but
Yeah.
Fair did have to go for those players because he was so far behind in the set. And, that's where it's